Here's Louise Mensch. She is the founder of Heat Street. Heat Street, just in case you don't know, is a very good site that hosts great news articles and opinions and editorials that are backed in with facts and reasons. Basically, what they're doing in Heat Street is just they're trying to make articles that go against the mainstream, criticizing news articles, criticizing others, when critiquing people when they absolutely need to be criticized. This is the kind of site that will compete with any other journalistic outlets by actually writing good content. They've gained serious traffic, beating the Mary Sue, even though they just barely began. There's only one problem, though. The owner. Louise is a Hillary supporter and she hates Trump. Now, there's absolutely no problem with that opinion, but like all opinions, the basis that forms those opinions are the ones that are actually important here. Why are you a Hillary supporter? Why do you hate Donald Trump? Those are more interesting to hear, because we'd like to know people's reasons and perspectives on why they take certain positions. However, Louise takes her position into an extreme level to the point where she is willing to lie about her opposition in order to make her side and her position look better. First, let's go to Pepe the Frog. Now, Heat Street published a wonderful article about Pepe by Ian Miles Cheong that describes bit by bit why Pepe the Frog is not a racist meme. If it is a racist meme, someone like me would cower in fear of people using said meme. But no, it's not a racist meme used by the white nationalists, as said by CNN, who once made the brilliant article saying that math is racist. Pepe is a cartoon frog, for God's sake. This is the kind of step that someone like Hillary Clinton and the Daily Beast are willing to take. They're willing to lie about a goddamn cartoon frog in order to make Donald Trump look bad. Again, KnowYourMeme has more accurate information about Pepe the Frog. Go check that one out instead. And the article by Ian shows very well how Hillary Clinton got tricked by someone who is obviously trolling. So Louise Mensch, after finding out that one article from her site is defending Donald Trump because Pepe is a white nationalist symbol used by Donald Trump, she writes another blog post to backtrack and apologize, literally saying that Hillary Clinton is right, forcing Ian, the author of the original article, to also apologize on Twitter. Now, don't get me wrong, backtracks happen in articles. Sometimes you make articles and you make mistakes in your edit. This is coming from Heat Street that defends Pepe with accurate information, with logic and reason. I mean, if this is the sudden shift in a position, if there is a sudden shift, the full 180 on this entire thing, I mean, it has to be very interesting, like, what caused the sudden shift of position from defending Pepe into actually agreeing with the media? Are there any facts or evidences that can back this up? Are there any substantial or logical reasons that justify such shift of position? A Google Drive folder. A Google Drive folder containing pictures of Pepe the Frog that happens to be anti-Semitic. That's the reason why they go full 180. That's enough for Heat Street to put this article and backtrack the entire freaking thing.
It may be blue now, but soon it will be redder than Republican Texas.
Heat Street is in a very unstable condition right now. There are writers who are actually writing good stuff, but there are morons like Louise Mensch backtracking on an article with the stupidest, most illogical, most baseless, and most outrageous of bases. This was all because she's a really big fangirl of Hillary and a massive hater of Trump. Again, there is absolutely no problem on being a fangirl, but if you cannot admit the mistakes of her idol, if you cannot admit that your idol has lied about a goddamn cartoon frog that can quickly be debunked in just a couple of Google search, if you are willing to signal boost your idol's blatant lies so that you can help her in shutting down her opposition, you have issues. Your fangirlism is unhealthy. And after reading your WikiLeaks email, it's to the point where it's borderline creepy. You can be a fangirl of Hillary and hate Trump. That's totally fine. But if you cannot give substantial, convincing, and logical arguments to back up your position, to back up the leg that you've been standing on, that begs the question on why are you even standing? I don't know why or how people can hold positions that clearly has problems in its legs but are still willing to stand on it. Now, Louise Mensch decided that it would be a good idea to attack animes. And of course, fucking course. It's Keijo. Again.
Our country used to suck, now we just blow.
It's not our country that's gotten worse, it's your brain.
What I don't understand is why, despite cultural differences, a lot of American anime fans see Keijo! And laugh it off, unmoved that in this show, women are valued to the sum total of their body parts, wrote Kotaku's Cecilia D'Anastasio. Citing Kotaku's hilarious article on Keijo. Your first big mistake right there, Louise. Watch my last video for more details. I agree completely, but there is another side of it. Keijo follows a normal practice in anime of making characters seem young, with large wide eyes. This may not usually be a problem, but in Keijo, it definitely is. Problematic animes are problematic. I do not expect this kind of article from someone who claims to be anti-feminist. The soft porn premise of the show is now paired with anime characters that look like children. The girl on the right with white hair has the underdeveloped breast of a prepubescent child. Louise, is there a possibility, just a tiny possibility, that there are girls with A-cups while they're still adults? Are you saying that all girls that have small boobs are children? Wow, nice projection there. Also, it's quite interesting that you claim that this show is child porn and yet you show a screenshot of the show. I mean, child porn is illegal, Louise, just in case you're wondering. So you sharing the pictures of the show is you distributing child porn. And that's illegal. It reminds me of that dumbass Dan Olsen. He wants to prove that 8chan is child porn by downloading child porn from 8chan and showing said child porn to his site without even knowing that downloading child porn is illegal. So Louise, either you admit that Keijo is child porn, which makes you a criminal, or you don't admit that Keijo is child porn, which makes you a liar. Either way. What's a feminist to do? We shudder to find ourselves on the same side as the Foxminists, who cry about sexualized video games where both male and female characters have strong, sexy, but clothed physiques. I laughed long and hard at Foxminists who bitched at Jumanji. No, you find yourself on the same side as those Fox feminists. Not us. We're against this whole nonsense. Stop projecting yourself. But this is different and beyond gross. It is the combination of porn and cartoons that's disturbing at first, and then it moves on to the child rendering typical of anime, and that is fine when a character is non-porn, but gross as hell when the cartoon in question is nude women fighting with their sex organs. Louise, you're a moron to think that these 2D rendered characters are freaking children and are in freaking porn. You keep on accusing these animes for being child porn based on your deluded interpretation. These are fictional freaking characters. Jesus. It's about as disgusting as the UN trying to ban anime and manga to prevent sexual violence while having Saudi Arabia as their Human Rights Council. You're insulting actual sexual violence victims by ignoring them and instead focus on those filthy Japanese animes because I don't like it. Absolutely disgusting.
Let's say you're out and about and you see a hot chick's armpit, only it's hairy and reminds you of her pussy. So you start stroking your cock to get the poison out before it backs up and hurts your brain.
So yeah, on this one, I fear that false-feminists and feminists are gonna wind up on the same side. And quite honestly, if you're a bloke who likes smut wrestling porn, maybe you should grow up and get out of the comics section. Absolutely fantastic. Now, you're gonna insult us for enjoying 2D anime babes. Tell me, Mrs. Louise Mensch, what should we do to become a productive member of this goddamn society? Why does it every single time we want to take a break out of hard work or college or freaking exams or 7 days a week of work just for a brief moment to enjoy hot 2D anime babes, you have to come in here and lecture about how to be a productive member of society? You want us to focus on doing work that contributes to society? Guess what? While you're too busy whining about how animes are freaking child porn, a very productive time and effort that you use right there, Mrs. Mensch, we've done things that are more productive than you. I'm in freaking exam. I'm still in college. I'm lecturing my juniors on how to program Java. I translate academic papers. I make entertainment videos on YouTube for fun and money to all of you who watch my video. Go comment right down below of what you've done to the society. No matter how small, things that these ignorant scumbags ignore because they only see us watching animes, sitting in our parents' basement as if every human being that watch animes are incapable of any social interactions or lacking any source of productivity. A stereotype that might have been plausible if not for the fact that millions of people watch animes and they come from different backgrounds, different races, different political beliefs, different genders, different cultures, different social norms, different personalities, different ages, diverse. Listen, I'm tired of all the jobs that I do. I want to take a break out of my tiresome work by watching 2D anime babes just for a brief 5 minutes moment, and then you come in here and say, go back to work. How much of an entitled human being that you need to be that you have to dictate what people should do with their life, huh? If you're gonna dictate to me on what I should do in my life, then don't complain when I dictate back at you. Stop sending emails asking Hillary Senpai to notice you, you creepy, obsessive fangirl.
Why are you blushing, creeper?
And if you can't even do that, at the very least, try and make sure your animations don't feature women that look suspiciously like little girls. Thanks for projecting your own interpretation of this anime to everyone. The only person who sees these characters as freaking children is you. You. Only you. And you yourself in the room. Congratulations for trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist. Louise Mensch is using child porn as a way to label something that she didn't like in a negative connotation. It's like labeling Dead or Alive Extreme 3 a sexual assault simulator. Look, we make rape jokes and other controversial jokes, but to write an article with a straight face by using a real crime as a negative connotation to attack something that you don't like without any real basis, without any sorts of reasoning or logic, using a real life crime that has affected millions of children on a daily basis, this is not the same as PewDiePie saying, it's raping time. You're all doing this with a straight face. You're doing all of this seriously. You're using a real life crime just to make the things that you didn't like look bad. I'm just gonna wonder, what are the comments from the actual victims of child porn? Hi, Louise Mensch. When you equate things to child porn that are decidedly not child porn, you minimize the damage done to survivors of child porn. You're frivolizing the abuse that I suffered by equating it to fictional drawn tunes, for Christ's sake, not doing anything traumatizing but fun. Oh my god, this girl has tiny breasts. This must mean she's a child. I have tiny breasts. I'm 18. I'd like to think snap judgments put me an adult. Really fucks with my self-consciousness in how I view my body, treating cartoons as something real, like my body is to be shamed of. I expect this sort of nonsense from feminist man-children that want to neg me into fucking, not from women who claims to espouse free speech. Free speech includes free expression, that includes art, drawings, fiction. If you equate it to illegality, what speech do you claim illegal? There you go. Good job, Louise Mensch. Nice try on virtue signal of how much against child porn you are by attacking goddamn animes. What a good person. Is that what you want, Louise? Is that what you want to be called after doing all of this thing? Congratulations. You're a good person. You attacked animes. You're against child porn. What an amazing human being you are. Go and use these animes as scapegoats as much as you want. Go and use child porn as an excuse for every single thing that you don't like. The more and more you do so, the more and more it exposes the kind of person you are. And I am so glad to know in this world of free expression, I know what kind of person you are. And knowing that you're such an amazing person, I have only one wish. I hope Hillary Clinton Senpai ignore you for the rest of your life. That's all for the video today. If you like this, you can go ahead and click the like button and subscribe for more. If you wish, you can support me on Patreon. And thanks for watching.